Hi everybody, welcome back. Sorry I'm a little congested, a little fluttered. Hopefully I'll get feeling better soon. But I wanted to start that process of telling you guys the story of exactly what happened and how I have all of this experience, knowledge in different sectors, and all of that kind of nonsense. I haven't decided if I'm going to break this video up at all. If it gets a little long, then I probably will. And hopefully the breaking point isn't uber cringy. So, back in 2015, I had decided that I wanted to go to college. I did not want to follow in the footsteps of my father, my grandfather. My grandfather, although, did go to college, so did my grandma, but neither of my parents went to college. And so I would be the first generation student out of my parents to go to school. And something really cool about being the first gen student is you kind of get all of these neat scholarships, except I really didn't have any knowledge of where to go or how to get them. Um, and I was relying off of old information that I guess was somewhat bad. However, something crazy happened. Before school, I was a lot tech. I worked for a dealership. I love cars. That's like my true passion in life. If I could just be around cars 24/7, I would be totally content because machines make sense. When they break, you can fix them. When people break, good luck. Good luck. So, with all of that being said, what ended up getting my foot in the door further is that as the start date of my classes came up, I decided that I really need to get some stuff. So I went and got my textbooks, I got my backpack ready, and I drive down to the school. I had a car, so that was very fortunate. I went to Snow College down in Ephraim, Utah. To give you an idea, that's about 2 hours away from Salt Lake City. And what ended up happening was after the first semester, I was kind of broke. I loved the experience, but there were some things that happened in college that I couldn't really let go of, and very few people know of. I had my first experience trying to come out that did not go so well, and I also was assaulted sexually at that school. I don't remember any of it, and we were never able to find out who did it. They did a really good job covering up their trails, and unfortunately, that happened. There was some disciplinary action taken with one of the fraternities, but that was pretty much it. Further down the road, after I get home, I start working more, I start doing my thing, I start working at a dealership again. And I start selling cars. And I'm good at it. I love it. I love interacting with others. I love doing those different things. And the one thing I told myself that I wouldn't do when I sold cars was that I would be dishonest. I hate salespeople who think manipulation tactics are a great way to make money. If the time is right and the consumer is interested in your product, you should have nothing to hide as a salesman, and you shouldn't be hiding anything from your customer. That has always been my belief, and that was one of the areas where I didn't really fit in. There was a particular instance that I remember. It was a late night, and I was there selling a car to a couple who had totaled both of their vehicles. And it had gotten to a point where they were hungry, they were in tears, and I said, well, you're here, you don't really have anywhere to go. I can get you an Uber, I can allow you to take one of our vehicles on a test drive, and you can go get dinner in an extended test drive, or we can get you catered Uber Eats or something, you know. This is back in 2016. Uber Eats is brand new, and DoorDash, same thing, pretty new. Long story short, the finance manager that was there that night was very upset that the customer left. He missed the piece of context that would have basically made me not get hit in the side of the head with a phone. Because I told him the customers were leaving, he got upset, and then proceeded to hit me in the side of the head right here on the temple with a landline. I know, great. And so from there, what ended up happening was I lasted there another couple months, and then I realized that the industry wasn't going to change unless I got more directly involved. So I decided to go back to college. I was going to Slick. I tried LDS Business College while I was selling cars. All of these things kind of didn't work out. When I was at Slick, though, I had my first experience, if you will, with feeling like I finally found where I wanted to be. I was studying international business and finance, and I felt like I had finally found my people, and I was so excited to get started. However, I did not do very well in those classes like I had done previous years back at Snow College, where I had almost gotten straight A's. I had never done that well in school. Slick, I don't know if it was because I was working full-time and I was trying to manage that and it just didn't work. Either way, it was a zero-sum game and I wasn't going to succeed in the way I was doing it. And maybe it was an honesty thing, because at that time, I hadn't even come out either. So that made it really difficult. And then moving forward, I got an opportunity to work for Sears. I love that job. That was my favorite job I have ever had. I've never felt so much purpose in my entire life. I've never felt so invigorated or willing to show up to work on time. The thing that made Sears wonderful wasn't the products it sold. It was its employees. The corporate structure was phenomenal in how they treated their workers. Yeah, was the pay pretty bad? Absolutely. But one of the coolest things about Sears is that towards the end, before the store liquidated, and I was only there for 6 months before they closed, but the cool thing was that they had a program where you could go to school and work full time, and they would put you in an entry-level leadership position of some kind, either a lead or entry-level manager or something like that. And they would pay for your schooling. And as long as you ended up going into a field that they recognized, they would pay for it, right? Because they want you to stay in their company. Well, when we got the notice that they were closing, so many things had happened that just kind of led up to a point where they could not stay in business any longer. It was heartbreaking. I remember because I went home and I told my dad, because I was living at home at the time, and my dad looked me in the eye. He's like, you have some serious decisions to make. You've had so many different jobs, a couple different careers, and it's now you're getting older. It's time to get serious. At this point, I'm about 23, so go figure. Love you, Dad. Anyway, he basically looked me in the eye and said, Nate, you really need to figure out what you want to do with your life. You have a lot of potential. And I always thought you would make a good electrician. And I've been trying to get you to be an electrician for years. What else do you have to lose? Well, apparently everything. Because currently unemployed. However, not saying that the trades are a bad place to be. Love the people that I have worked with over the course of the last several years. They've been absolutely wonderful. However, I bit the bullet and I jumped ship in 2018. 2018 is when I lost my job at Sears. Hi everybody, thanks for watching. You know, I really look forward to doing more of these videos in the future. If you wouldn't mind liking and sharing this with your friends and family, anyone else who might be impacted by this type of stuff. I know that a lot of these conversations I've been having recently are very difficult, but I do hope that this finds you well and that we can all grow from this. If there's any questions you have for me, please leave them down in the comments below. I look forward to answering them.